Salem College began in 1772 as a girls' primary school founded by Moravian settlers who believed in equal education of women and men. The school began offering college degrees in 1890 and eventually became known as the Salem Academy and College. Today, Salem College is a liberal arts women's college that still shares a campus with the Salem Academy located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and is the oldest female educational establishment that is still a women's college. During first-year orientation, there is a night of ice cream and campus ghost stories at the Maydell, the campus outdoor amphitheater. Upperclassmen usually come and share their own personal paranormal experiences on campus. The lady in white is the phantom of a woman in a white dress who can be seen roaming the Maydell amphitheater before quickly vanishing. She is friendly compared to the sinister spirit that appears as a black orb and is frequently seen under the nearby stone bridge. Cluel Dormitory is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl who died when she fell down an old elevator shaft that has since been boarded up. She is sometimes spotted in the halls late at night. Stolen stuffed animals have been found lined up against where the old sealed-off shaft remains. Things are often mysteriously knocked off desks and moved in students' rooms. A campus rumor suggests that there were more than one deaths in the elevator shaft before it was boarded up, but that has yet to be proven. The Gramley building is the site of the college's library and where two girls were killed in an electrocution accident soon after the building was built. The spirits of the girls appear to students screaming in agonizing pain that has been torturing the girls for eternity. The Fine Arts Center has a phantom pianist who can be heard playing pianos or organs late into the night, despite the building being locked and empty. A patron who died in Theater 2 still lingers and haunts the theater to this day, causing playful mischief and spooking students. A girl hung herself on the top floor of the Gramley dormitory. Students on the second floor report hearing furniture move in the middle of the night along with the sounds of marbles dropping from the floor above them. Supposedly this is the haunting sound of the dresser that the girl moved and jar of marbles that was knocked over that night that she killed herself. Students have also seen a man in black in the basement of the dorm, usually side in the community kitchen. Sometimes he appears as a full-bodied apparition, but other times only as ominous black smoke. On November 28, 1873, a 16-year-old Salem Academy boarder from Augusta, Georgia, burned to death in the single sister's house. She was practicing piano when an ember from a stove caught her dress on fire, causing her to run through the building. Running only caused the flames to grow before they could be put out. She passed away later that day, and students report seeing a woman in a period dress peering out of the windows of single sisters, usually between 2 or 3 in the morning. Is it the girl who died from the horrendous burns, or is it one of the restless spirits of those who died in the building when it was used as the college's infirmary? The lobby of Babcock Dormitory has a painting of Mary Babcock, the daughter of tobacco tycoon R.J. Reynolds. The painting's eyes follow students as they walk by. Legend says that students should not disrespect the paints or fail to greet and say goodbye as they come in and out of the lobby. Students who disrespect the painting have had unfortunate events happen to them, such as being expelled, failing a class, or oversleeping and missing a final exam. Me and my friend Orion are undergraduate students at a small college in the Pacific Northwest. Late-night strolls aren't out of character for us, and it's common for undergrads to walk to the graduate campus at night for parties, drugs, what have you. It is also socially accepted by students, faculty, and alumnus that there is an urban legend a building on grad campus being haunted. That building is called Corbett House. the area isn't foreign to us. There is a clothing and item exchange in Corbett House every Friday, which Orion frequents. We all had known about old ghost stories, but hadn't had a paranormal experience with it until tonight. Orion and I walked there, reached the halfway mark of the roundabout, and a sound we only thought existed in horror movies randomly split the air. It was a rainy night, but we heard everything clearly. The noise was a very loud, resonant hum. It was coming from the right side of the house, but it fully encompassed us. I tried opening the main door, then knocked twice, and we started walking away. I also proceeded to make some crass remarks about ghosts. I have an affinity to make jokes at unfortunate times. Once we reached the "No parking" sign painted into the road, the noise stopped completely. I decided to turn round and head back to the door from the way we came. Orion followed. No new sounds from the building, but another light to the right of the door, the same side where we had heard the noise, had mysteriously turned off. No one should be in the building. It was almost midnight and grad campus is socially dead at 7 p.m. It was around 11:50 p.m. After that, we decided to head back. I heard two clear, short and shallow exhales, no inhales, in my right ear. The voice sounded masculine in nature. I checked behind me for Orion and they were about 2 feet away from me. The exhales were not pulled from deep enough in the lung to be heard from that distance. They said they had felt chills through their entire body, as if an energy had passed through them. Orion heard extra footprints behind us several times on the walk back to campus via the main road. I was waking ahead of them. The footsteps weren't wet, despite the fact that it was pouring outside and had been for several hours. That's the PNW, I guess, but the ghost steps didn't get the memo, I guess, so there's no way of explaining that. After we had returned to the basement of our resident hall, we heard further sinister noises including loud banging and creaking of wooden floors, despite them only consisting of concrete and threadbare carpet. Weird. Just got a phone call from my crying daughter at 2 a.m. Such a helpless feeling, and she's asking me what she should do. She goes to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Since this started happening, I searched online and there are lots of stories about paranormal things happening to people living in the dorms. This started about 2 weeks ago. On 2 consecutive nights, at about 2:30 a.m. her and her roommate heard something large and metallic drop in their room. The sound didn't come from outside. They got up both times and searched the room for the source, but couldn't find anything out of place. The next night, she's lying in bed and starts to hear a rapid, raspy breathing about 1 foot in front of her face. She sits up and asks her roommate why she is breathing like that, and her roommate says she hears it too, but it isn't her. As soon as they started talking, the sound went away. After that, they would go to sleep with the lights on and the TV playing. Nothing happened until tonight. Her roommate was asleep and she was working on a paper in bed on her laptop. The room was dark except for the light from her laptop. She said she closed the laptop to go to sleep, and as she laid back in her bed, she felt the bed depress and a hand, she could feel fingers and a palm, grabbed her hip. She screamed and jumped out of bed, turned on all the lights. Nothing was there. She called me crying hysterically. She doesn't know what to do. Nothing has ever happened to me like this, but I have an open mind. I believe her. I told her to tell it to leave, they don't want it there. She repeated it as I said, while still crying. She didn't sound very convincing. It's heartbreaking as a father. She keeps asking me what she should do. She was going to go sleep in someone else's room the rest of the night. Don't know if she was going to leave her roommate by herself. We aren't religious. Any suggestions? If anything else happens, I may have to have a very interesting talk with someone from student housing. Update: just spoke to my daughter again. She said it was within a minute of closing her laptop and laying down that it happened. She said she felt the palm first and then the fingers. Said the weight on the bed was on the wall side. Her roommate is much more spooked than she is. I thought it might be the reverse. Said the roommate will not be in the room by herself anymore. She always feels eyes on her. The roommate was distraught that my daughter was touched. Feels like whatever it is doesn't feel like there are any boundaries anymore. I told her to keep noise and light on at night from now on. Good thing, she's coming home for spring break in 3 days.